Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin. We'll be taking a look at what's been going on most recently with the price action of BTC on the hourly, daily, and weekly timeframes, and I'll share my thoughts and opinions on where I think things are heading. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? You can always unsubscribe later. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into today's video, kicking things off with that 1 hour time frame. So here we have a BTC paired up with USDT on the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 spot exchange. We did see a deviation from what we talked about yesterday. We were looking for a break upwards, back up into the Z wave high. We had a target of 28,807 to 29,076. The bears got control of the situation yesterday and did drag us down a little bit deeper. Okay, now this move to the downside has still not broken out of our moves to the upside, but it does change our outlook ever so slightly. And in fact, I think we are more than likely going to see a significant break to the downside next rather than to the upside. But we'll go ahead and we'll check out what is going on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just adjust these out. Well, I say adjust them. I'm just going to take them off the chart for now. And we're going to review the most recent move here. Okay, so we can see a few interesting things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down into a 5-minute time frame just so that I can scrutinize this particular area of the chart, because this does look like a very impulsive move to the downside. And obviously this impulsive move can be a trend. In fact, even up here, we can also see that we have this move coming down. We bounced up and then we came down. So I want to do a couple of sense checks here, okay, even from here, because this can be a couple of interesting patterns. We have some overlap going on. Okay, so we know it's not impulsive across the grander scale of things, as in this here is not a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, because that would basically invalidate the idea of an impulsion, but it could be diagonal in the way that it is going. So we need to be a little bit mindful. So for the first part here, we can see that we do have a 3-wave pattern over here. I'm going to use WXY for this. Okay, so we have that 3-wave pattern there. We then obviously have the correction to the upside, which is not a problem. And then we move down. Now, this move to the downside is quite interesting because it does look to me like it has an impulsion to it. So, for example, we can see here is our peak. We can see that this could be a diagonal taking us down into this low. And then we move down in an impulsive. This basically means it's a wave 4 coming up, and we've still got that 5th wave to the downside to go. Now, that would make the whole thing a flat correction as a 335 correction overall. So I'll go ahead and draw this on so you can see what I'm talking about here. 1, 2, down here for 3, up here for 4, and we've got to have that 5, right? So we will have it looking like this with a slightly deeper move still to come. Now, if I take this back up into our hourly, we'll have all of that already drawn on there. So you can see here that this is the structure in question. It means that this is still a flat correction. This here has an overlap, so we know that that is nothing more than what is going on. So this in itself being a flat correction doesn't rule out the idea of a diagonal at this stage. 1, 2, 3, up here for 4 and down into 5, right? So we can still look at that as something that can go on as a diagonal based pattern, with the internal workings being 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and so forth. So we want to kind of keep that open mind to that. But for now, on our hourly chart, based on this idea, we're getting rejected here from equilibrium after this move to the downside, both below the 50 EMA and 50 SMA. Then our expectation is going to be for a move to the downside. Our move to the downside is going to target out between the 1.236 and the 1.618 fib scales. This essentially is going to be between 26,973 to 27,153. Okay, so that's going to be the target range there. I'm going to remove the fibs from up there. We don't need those anymore. And so, yeah, so that's currently where we sit on this one. That's where our structures are on the hourly time frame. Take this out into the daily. We're still very much on track for our bearish structure, like I've been saying for the last few weeks, unless, of course, we break out towards 28,588 or higher. Unfortunately, our structure is bearish, and we have to come down to 22,477 to 23,787. that is this yellow box area just down here. Okay, we remain bearish unless proven otherwise, and the only way to prove otherwise is to break out above 28,588. I thought yesterday that we had the opportunity to do so, but the bears gained control and pushed us down. We got very, very close to the invalidation line here, as you can kind of see this white dashed line at the top here. We got very, very close. In fact, we wicked up to 28,573. So we got very, very close, but we didn't break that line. And because we didn't break that line, our wave 4 is intact and our fifth wave expectations just dropped down even lower. So for now, we are where we are. We still have the ability to break out above that 28,588. However, I think the chances now are slipping away from the bulls. So unfortunately, unless proven otherwise, we are expecting further downside as per the analysis that we've been talking about for the last week or so. 22,477 to 23,787. That is the target range. Take it out to the weekly time frame. We still have these bearish ideas here, well, higher highs and higher lows. Now, higher highs and higher lows, typically, if you go across other kind of influencers or literature written, ultimately, it kind of gets you the idea that things are bullish, right? You're in higher highs, you've got some momentum behind it, things are looking good. And for the most part, it's right, but it's also not really accurate in the sense of that these are usually short-term movements, okay, specifically when you have overlapping candlesticks. And so what I've noted here is that when we have lower lows and lower highs with an overlapping candlestick structure, we break out to the upside. And the same is true for the opposite, right, where we have higher highs and higher lows with overlapping structures, well, they tend to break on down, okay? And this is something that we can note, and you can draw these anywhere you want in the price chart. You will see them time and time again, okay? And for the most part, this is the expectation we are seeing here. So, for example, just over here, we have lower highs and lower lows. We broke up, right? And over this side, just here, we have higher highs in the June 2022 to August 2022. Higher highs and higher lows, we broke down, right? And then, of course, into the FTX crash, we have lower lows and lower highs. We broke out to the upside. And so our expectation right now is essentially that with higher highs and higher lows, this is an overlapping candlestick structure, inevitability that we are likely to break on down from. And of course, we are above the 50 EMA at the moment. We have the golden cross on the 50 SMA crossing the 200 weekly EMA. So there's some positivity to be seen there. But ultimately, again, if we take a look at some of the historical ones, the death cross that happened over here, we actually saw a pump rather than a dump. And over here, we have the golden cross last week. And what do we see? We see negative price action instead. So there's basically a testament to showing that there's low volume in the market. Low volume means that there's not actually that many people interested in purchasing and trading Bitcoin at the moment. And as such, the golden cross, death cross situations aren't really making much of an impact at all. And again, it is only showing you what's already happened as well. So I don't think there's a lot of emotional reactions occurring here within the EMA crosses. So for the weekly time frame, yeah, I expect that we are going to see some volatility this week. The bears will be trying to bring us back down below that 50 EMA, which currently sits at 26,917. And yeah, for now, I expect further downside on the weekly time frame. Our momentum stock on a stochastic RSI is shifting up. And again, this is also something that I have a concern with. Just as we kind of draw a trend line across these, you can kind of see that we're breaching this line right now. This could be a turning point for BTC on the stochastic RSI. This could be a breakout situation, but ultimately momentum is not doing much for us at the moment. Ultimately, I think that momentum is going to be up in the overbought range much faster than expected, and from there we might see it further to the downside. Now, obviously, the stochastic RSI does not represent price. It's only an idea of price. It's basically showing you whether or not there is an exhaustion to buying or an exhaustion to selling. That's ultimately what it's showing you. It's a relation to price and to volumes and all that kind of profile aspect of it. And so what we've got to bear in mind here is that the stochastic RSI, although may be overbought, we can continue a rally upwards, and likewise if it is oversold, it can also continue dumping to the downside. Ultimately though, we have moved the stochastic RSI on the weekly time frame much faster than you would probably want it to, and that could be seen as a bearish tell as well. So we're just being a little bit mindful here that I do think that although October has the potential to be a green month. Historically, it's a green month. We did see September being green, and therefore we may see October being red. But it'll be interesting to kind of see how this one plays out, and for the rest of the crypto market that will follow Bitcoin's direction. So I'm going to leave the video there. We'll catch up again tomorrow on the BTC on this channel. If you found this useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.